Hey everyone, Money Talk Sundayz is back after a long break. Not going to go into details behind the break, but I am back. A lot has happened in the market since the last episode, and yes, I took it very hard. Like many of you, I lost a boatload, but I am looking to recoup those losses once this market bottoms out, which it looks like it might have done so. Now, it could be just hype, but U.S. stocks did add to their recent rally this past Friday, with all three major indices gaining for the month as well as for the week. The S&P 500 gained about 9.1% for July, in its biggest monthly percentage gain since November of 2020, while the Nasdaq jumped about 12.3% in July, in its biggest monthly gain since April of 2020. Now, stocks were boosted by mainly upbeat earning reports, along with investor speculation that the Fed may not need to be as aggressive with interest rate hikes as some had feared. It looks like it is working. They are trying to slow down inflation, but talks of recession continue. They continue with the GDP being negative in the last 2 quarters, over the last 2 quarters. The GDP fell 0.9% for the last quarter, following a 1.6% decline the first quarter. Now, this can be looked in 2 different ways. First way, of course, is everyone eyeing the situation as it being indicative of a recession. Historical data suggests that 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth aligns with economic recession. Economists, talking heads, pundits, financial gurus, you name it, they are all pointing to recession. On the other side of the coin, the White House, Dems and Republicans are sparring over the true state of the economy, saying just because it looked like a recession, it might not be a recession. So if it looked like a duck, it talks like a duck, it's probably just a cat or a donkey. Who knows? But Fed Chair Jerome Powell and many economists have said that while the economy is showing some weakening, they doubt it's in recession. Many of them point, in particular, to a still robust labor market with 11 million job openings, with nobody actually taking those jobs though, and an uncommonly low 3.6% unemployment rate. I hate when they put out this percentage of the unemployment rate, because after a certain point, people stop reporting that they're unemployed because they can no longer collect unemployment. So if they're not reporting it because they can't collect, you don't know the true nature of your unemployment rate. Just like when you don't know the true nature of your COVID infection rate because people are taking a test at home. And if they're positive, but that is not getting reported to the Department of Health. So if it goes unreported, it actually does not count to their stats, and it works in their favor. That's probably why they did it that way, so it'll look better in their favor. Yeah, unemployment rate is low. They say 3.6%. It could be as high as 7 or 8%. But people are not reporting. But who knows? That's neither here or there. That's a discussion for another time. We can talk about that in another video, because I actually do have a problem with that, but I digress. Now, to suggest that we are in a recession, they feel that that claim is way off. It's long further down the line. It's not even happening, but it's inevitable. It's inevitable. And another way to look at it is, as far as with this negative growth, as I said before, this past quarter, it fell 0.9%. The quarter before that, it fell 1.6%. Now, based upon the pattern, considering the pattern that we see here, we do see a positive growth within that negative growth pattern. It's trending towards zeroing out. It's flatlining. So probably within the next 2 quarters, we could see positive growth in the GDP. But then again, since 1948, the economy has never seen consecutive quarterly growth declines without being in a recession. So are we in a recession? Let's just go ahead and pull the Band-Aid off and say that we are in a recession, so we can do what we need to do to get up out of this recession and keep moving. Now, Apple, ExxonMobil, Chevron, they made bullish moves this past Friday following earnings. Exxon and Chevron stock offered early entries above their 50-day lines as they move up the right side of proper bases. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, it rose 3%. in last week's stock market trading. The S&P 500 index popped 4.3%, and the NASDAQ composite jumped up 4.7%. The small cap Russell 2000 jumped 4.25%. So what does this all show? It shows that the downtrend is decreasing. It is trending towards zero. It's trending towards the flat line and maybe towards positive growth. Technically, it is still positive growth when you go from 1.6% to 0.9%. There is positive growth there, but we are still in the red. So as far as are we in a recession? Yes, let's go ahead and say we are in a recession, but we are digging ourselves out this hole. That's all I'm really going to say about this on this episode. Money Talk Sundayz. We're just going to go ahead and take it step by step, day by day, and just like this recession, Money Talk Sundayz is going to crawl out this hole. I'm going to crawl out my hole. Let's all crawl out this hole and get back into the black. All right? This is your boy Stevie B with Money Talk Sundayz. Y'all have a wonderful week. Let's keep an eye on the market. Let's not get too excited. All right? Peace.